Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gotta Go Orlando. We're heading back into Disney's Animal Kingdom to give you a sneak peek at the construction of the new Tropical Americas land. Just a heads up, there's some exciting construction happening and things are moving along very quickly. With Dinoland USA, the iconic land doors finally closed and has become part of history, everyone is now examining the vertical construction and how the land is transforming compared to the concept art. What was merely a dirt lot just a few months back is now gradually being filled with a massive new show building, carousel ride, hacienda architecture, stores and more. This transformation will transform Animal Kingdom into a park you could spend a full day in, compared to previously where I felt it was a half-day park. Disney is transforming the former Dinoland USA area into a brand new 11-acre land called Pueblo Esperanza. This land is inspired by the cultures, landscapes and wildlife of Central and South America. Pueblo Esperanza is currently scheduled to open in 2027. The project marks one of the most significant expansions in Disney's Animal Kingdom history, completely replacing Dinoland USA, which closed in phases through early 2026. So in this video we'll be exploring the entire construction site, breaking down the ongoing developments. We'll also discuss the recent details released about the area, share our thoughts on the new additions and much more. Also known as Project RO, rather than simply being an Encanto land, Disney Imagineering is designing Pueblo Esperanza, a fully realised fictional village similar to Harambe in Africa or Anandapa in Asia. The name of this village, Pueblo Esperanza, translates to the Village of Hope and will feature a central village plaza on which everything else will flow off. In the central plaza you will find the storytelling fountain, the centerpiece of the village. The village itself will be enveloped in lush tropical environments with tropical landscaping and water features and hacienda architecture, a Spanish colonial style originating in the 16th century Americas, carried throughout the land in its buildings, walls, fountains and open air market spaces, characterized by thick white stucco walls, red clay roof tiles and expansive courtyards designed for hot climates. These rustic sprawling buildings featured arched doorways, rough-hewn wooden beams and hand-painted tiles. Disney has made it clear that the land is being designed with a biodiversity and symbolic relationship between humans and animals as central themes and storytelling. These elements are a significant part of the overreaching message conveyed in Animal Kingdom. So from above, with the assistance of Bioreconstruct and his remarkable aerial photographs, we can observe the activities occurring beyond the walls and the areas that remain concealed, such as the Critter Carousel that has begun to go vertical. Additionally, we can witness the transformation taking place at the rear of the site, where Dinosaur the ride is being internally dismantled and a brand new facade is gradually taking shape. And from ground level you can now see the massive show building rising above the construction walls. The full site is a hive of activity and noise. So let's start to look at the construction site. So the first piece of architecture you will see when visiting the new land is the archway. During the first week of February we noticed that the Dinoland archway was removed, paving the way for the up and coming new entrance into Pueblo Esperanza. We can now observe the groundwork being prepared, with wooden forms being constructed ready for the foundations to be poured, which will hold the brand new arch. For the construction of the arch, we're not sure as yet whether it's going to be blockwork or steel. We can also see conduit near the forms, which is likely to house the nighttime lighting and sound systems, similar to what you would find in Pandora. Now we're going to move over to what will be the first ever Encanto themed ride, and it's going to be a large-scale family dark ride. You will enter the magical casita shortly after Antonio receives his special gift, the ability to communicate with animals. The dark ride attraction takes riders into Antonio's rainforest themed room, filled with exotic wildlife and magical environments. At present, I would say that this is the most advanced stage of the site's construction. The show building that will house the Encanto dark ride is now fully framed out and is now receiving its external paneling to make the full building watertight. On top of the building, we can now observe the roofing being laid out and sealed with several layers. Stacks of green panels are arranged to be cut and added onto the edging of the building. The green panels are currently in a go-away green. This is to help conceal the building from public view once the land is opened. In the future, landscaping will also be implemented and existing trees will be kept to further conceal the large-scale building, much like the haunted mansion at the Magic Kingdom. We can also note that AC units have been added, which means the utility and infrastructure work is heavily advancing throughout the building itself. Concept art and models suggest that the back portion of the building was intended to be the tallest part, with the building gradually decreasing in height towards the front. However, in reality, the building consists of 3 sections. The tallest section is located in the centre, while the rear and front sections are similar in height. The rear portion of the ground floor section will be the ride's main system control room, which will control the full attraction, the powerhouse where all the breakers would be located, and the maintenance room for repairs on ride vehicles. The building is estimated to be 65,000 square feet. That's around the same size as the Cosmic Rewind building. Before the roofing was installed, you could get a glimpse of some of the interior architecture. There are walkways, catwalks and mezzanines, suggesting that this will be a multi-level dark ride experience. When the attraction was first announced, Josh DeMauro described this as a classic Disney dark ride attraction. Think Omnimover or a trackless type of attraction. And of course, we know Disney do these type of attractions very well. Many fans believe that the Encanto attraction will be a trackless ride similar to Rise of the Resistance or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And I kind of agree with them fans. I'm just wondering if this will be the first trackless attraction to receive the brand new latest Avoid Hazards movement management, which is designed to on the fly move the ride vehicles around any dropped objects, reducing the attraction's downtime and reset. From leaks and rumours, we are hearing that the ride vehicles will carry 2/3 people per row, 2 rows per car, with 2 cars attached. So each load would be around 8 to 12 people, which is similar to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We have also heard that the ride consists of 12 unique rooms, but like I say, this is a rumour and we just have to wait for more details to be released. The sad thing is now the building is being closed up and we are kind of being locked out on what's happening inside. So we'll just have to keep a close eye on what's being taken in and the paper trail with permits to see if there's any clues left for us to spot. I mentioned in my last update, and I'm still edging my bets, that the concrete room / shaft is the ride vehicle lift, which will lift you up similar to Rise of the Resistance. This for me enforces that it is going to be a trackless ride, but I could be wrong. Over the past few weeks we have been watching the forms being built out for what will be the casita, and as of now the concrete has been poured into them forms for the foundation pad. Also, the walls have started to go vertical for the house. casita. According to concept art, the casita will stand tall on top of a hill berm to elevate it. This will help conceal the massive show building behind. The one thing I'm looking at is the walls going in. Are they for a basement level? And at present everything looks really flat. We're also seeing a foundation pad being added from the casita to the main show building. I'm thinking this will hold a secret cast member corridor and a retaining wall which will hold back the earth, which would be the hill on which the house will sit upon top of. To the back of the casita, we are noting several foundation columns in the centre of a courtyard. I think these pads could be used as foundations for the large tree and foliage that sits behind the casita itself, which you can see in the concept art, building up layers of detail. Around the front of what will be the casita, you can see the conduit poking up out of the dirt. The conduit will carry the cabling for the sound and power for lights and water pumps for the rivers that flow in front of the casita, and also the sound. Also, the full building will feature moving elements such as shutters and windows which will open and close via magic. Now moving over to the left hand side of the casita, we can now observe that the framing for the main entrance to the attraction has been constructed with pitched roofing. It appears that there are two entrances. The one closest to the casita seems to be the fast pass entrance, while the one next to it will be the regular entrance. Both entrances lead into an area of roofing that I imagine will be the themed walkthrough portion of the attraction. This roofed area has been sealed, and on top you can see metal pegs, which according to concept art, these pegs will hold the fake building facades that will give that layered look similar to the mountains at Galaxy's Edge over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. What we are yet to see to begin is the forming out for the entrances, that small arch, and what looks like open air market stalls according to concept art. As mentioned in my last update, it looks like the exit to the attraction will be located on the opposite side of the show building. We are now seeing a canopy added which would exit you on the far side of the casita towards the old Dino store, which will become the new Encanto store. The show building itself, even with the size of it, is moving along at a fast pace, and once watertight we will start to see external additions added, like more steelwork for the facades. We can now observe off-site there are increasingly more test panels of rockwork and stonework being created and tested. We can also see the casita test panels with tile roofing. All of these testing samples are being prepared for when the show building exterior is ready to begin its final theming and cladding. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to smash subscribe, and if you're watching on TV, all you have to do is scroll up on your remote and you'll see underneath the play bar the subscribe button there. You can also follow us on Instagram to keep up with the latest news, rumours, Orlando, Florida guides, event news, plus what we're up to, and so much more. Check it out. Let's get back to the construction update, and now we're heading over to the Critter Carousel. The former Triceratops spin and parts of Chester and Hester's Dinorama will be the brand new location for the carousel attraction. Over the past few months, we've witnessed utility routing with permits to relocate power and water lines that previously supplied Dinorama. Additionally, new utilities including conduit for power have been added to this area and have since been filled back in. In our last update, we witnessed the foundations being laid and concrete being poured for the carousel itself, as well as the operator's booth, surrounding buildings and the queuing area. Well, things have taken a turn for the better. A central steel ring has been installed, and I imagine this will be the central ring for the carousel to be built on top of and for it to rotate around. Then the outer steel framing for what will be the canopy for the carousel itself. you can make out the double support columns as shown in the concept art. These steel columns will be wrapped with the hand wooden carved elements. We're also seeing the damp proof layer being added, which will be covered over with the final layer of concrete and paving. Most likely this will be patterned concrete, similar to what was done with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, with detailing such as donkey hooves, cartwheel impressions, pebbles and cracks, which will help the concrete stress lines. We can also see the damp proofing being added to what will be the queuing area of the attraction. All the yellow areas will most likely be covered over at the same time with the final concrete pour, patterned concrete or faux tile effect. We can also see now the steelwork going up for the queuing area and exit roofing, which will all be finished off in that red clay tile. According to concept art, there is a building at the back of the carousel towards the back of the site near the boundary wall. In the past we witnessed extensive laying of conduit in this area, but on the back wall we can now observe power units being installed quite high up on the wall. Will this area receive a canopy style covering instead of a full building? However, we can observe that at least one of the power units is empty, waiting for its initial and final electrical installation. I imagine these boxes will feed the carousel, the lighting and sound in the area. Next to the carousel and what will be the main entrance into the Tropical Americas area, Pueblo Esperanza, we are now seeing the layout of what will be the narrow village entrance. At this time we are seeing the foundation forms being laid out for what will be the arch that leads you into the town. Two blockwork buildings, one on each side of the street, have started to go up, and work has started on the steel framing for what will be the clock tower and the initial gateway that encloses an outdoor dining area hidden out of sight. According to the concept art, some of the openings will be open to walk through and others will be closed off. This narrow street will lead your eye to the Pueblo Esperanza fountain, located at the top of this street. We are now starting to see the utility work in the form of piping and conduit in massive trenching for the plumbing that will feed the land's central storytelling fountain. Just in front of this location is one of the most unexpected developments, the scale of the new hacienda style quick serve restaurant replacing Restaurantosaurus. Disney has hinted that this new restaurant could be one of the largest quick serve dining locations at Walt Disney World. While the interior is being completely re-renovated, most of the exterior structure is being retained but rethemed. Most of the visible work is focused on installing utilities at the front and for the foundation that will hold the new archway facade. Currently we are seeing new damp coursing membrane being added to the building, ready for the new cladding. There will also be an open air dining area which we spoke about before, hidden behind the clock tower. There will also be a covered courtyard dining area, creating that market style atmosphere. Based on current knowledge, the food offerings will be inspired by a Latin American cuisine. Additionally, there are plans to create more retail spaces and character meet and greet locations, and I think one of them character meet and greet locations will be at the casita. As we've seen over the past few months, the retail conversion has started. We've seen all the dino aesthetics removed from the roofline, and separate permits were filed for 671, 672 and 676 Dinoland Drive. These permits cover the transformation of the former Trillo Bites, Dino Bites Snack and Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures into the new Pueblo Esperanza marketplaces. Now that the Boneyard has gone, we will see a new play area which will sit on the former site of the Cretaceous Trail between the new Indiana Jones adventure ride and the rethemed retail location. A permit was filed in late January 2026. The playground permit 594 Dinoland Drive details the wastewater permit document, which includes the footprint of a playground featuring multiple slides and climbing structures. It's designed to replace the capacity lost due to the demolition of the Boneyard. As of now, we are witnessing the complete clearing of the site, making way for its transformation. Notably, most of the trees are being retained to create that tropical, lush rainforest ambience, but no utility work has begun, nor any foundation work. It's really at its early stages. Our next and final location in this construction update is the former Dinosaur attraction, which is undergoing a complete transformation into a brand new Indiana Jones adventure attraction. Permits filed December 2025 and January 2026 for general construction matching the entrance courtyard of Dinosaur have been filed. The permit mentioned the contractor Whiting Turner Company, a frequent Disney collaborator. The permits cover site preparation and the clearing out of the former Dinosaur ride theming. Well, the work has commenced on the exterior of the building, with a new steel structure being added to turn the facade into a Maya temple. We can now see the stepped temple take shape, and the temple will be used to hide much of the existing dino building, making the area feel completely different. And going back to the test paneling off-site, we can now see stonework which looks like it's the test pieces for this structure. The full courtyard has now been cleared for the construction process. Also, recent permits indicate that work internally has begun. A curious permit was filed by Mecha Productions, who specialise in show set pieces. The permit was for the Dinosaur building and suggests while the ride was still operating in late 2025, they were already staging or pre-installing elements for the Indiana Jones transition behind the scenes. But as for more details internally, we have to wait for Walt Disney World to release more details or keep an eye out for them permits. The only permits you're unlikely to see as yet are the highly specific theming permits, such as the Maya Temple rock and stonework fabrication or the animatronic installation. But as we mentioned before, testing for those permits are now underway. These permits typically follow 6 to 12 months after the general construction begins, once the buildings have been made weather tight. The Disney community is buzzing with a mixture of feelings about the changes. Fans are thrilled about bringing South Central America to Animal Kingdom, Encanto getting its very own ride, Indiana Jones stepping in for Dinosaur, and the more immersive village vibe. But there are also concerns. Longtime fans are bummed about the loss of Dinoland USA. There are worries about how much IP will be included, and some wonder if Indiana Jones really fits Animal Kingdom's main theme. Others believe the land still supports the park's animal and conservation message through rainforest biodiversity and Antonio's animal-focused story. But how are you feeling about this new land? Let us know in the comments down below. Disney has currently set a 2027 opening date for Pueblo Esperanza. However, several fans and industry experts have speculated about the potential changes to the opening timeline. Some believe that the Indiana Jones attraction might open first. I do feel that the land will open in stages, with the Critter Carousel being one of the first areas to open, while other people suggest that the Encanto dark ride will require a longer development period. It came to light that former Imagineer Joe Rohde reportedly revealed that the Tropical Americas concept had been discussed internally for over 15 years before finally moving forwards, and these projects was meant to start sooner but unfortunately was delayed, which means we could have been potentially walking into these new lands today. So what are you most excited for? The magic of Tropical America's atmosphere, the new Encanto dark ride, or the adventures of Indy? Let us know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell and share with your friends and family, as it really does help the channel grow. Don't forget to scan this QR to check out our affiliates for flights, accommodation, car rental and theme park tickets. Want even more Orlando, Florida updates? updates, check out our website, scan the QR for theme park news, Orlando guides, and what's on when you're visiting. Hey, thank you for watching this video right to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, why don't you check out this video right here that YouTube's picked out for you. You can also follow us on these social media platforms right here to stay up to date with what's happening here in Orlando, Florida. Now get out there and go and make some memories. Bye YouTube!